Hello, Purple Heart Consciousness holders and Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. I am coming to you again on day 11. Today is a very special day. And the reason it's a special day is we are celebrating life and we're celebrating it abundantly. And so in this celebration, we get to continue to remember that there is only one source in this life, and that source is God, and God is the infinite supply. So we're celebrating the 40-day prosperity program. And in this 40-day prosperity program, which is the legacy that John Randolph Price left for humanity, we get to hear his words, his affirmation. And that affirmation we can embody. The affirmation says, I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. Now, not only is he able to do that, but Raymond Hollywell in his book, Working with the Law, says, this is something we need to remember. He says, remember not to confuse money with supply. We're talking about supply here. He says money is but one of the numerous means of supply. And sometimes we get that confused when we're confronted with a challenge or we're looking at improving our finances, or there's something that we're in need of. Then he says money is not the root of evil, but the love of money is. That's our worship of something outside of ourselves. And then he says, if you concentrate upon money alone and use every means to gather it and hoard it, you are forcing the law to close out other good. That's interesting. If you concentrate on part and not the whole, you only get a small part. If you concentrate on the whole, you enjoy all the parts. And this is an important part. Oftentimes you might hear me focus, when it's time for us to focus on something, I may say this or something better. Maybe perhaps we're working on demonstrating a financial amount. Maybe we're in need of demonstrating, for example, a roof, and maybe that roof may mean that we need to demonstrate $30,000 or more. In that whole process, it is important for us to stay open to the more, or something better, or something better. So that something better can show up in many different ways. For example, the equivalent of that, or even something better, may show up as a builder willing to gift us their time and service. So part of this whole process is opening up to our good. We may create those different channels for spirit to show up, but it will show up in our life. One of my greatest teachers was Catherine Ponders, and she taught me the affirmation of knowing that God shows up through expected channels of supply and unexpected channels of supply. I take this time to go over this because it is a very important point. And so I want to share this prayer with you. And this prayer is named Abundance is Mine and Yours. It is written by practitioner Tanya Chanis, and she is a member of Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. And here is the prayer. All things in existence are incarnations of spirit. God's intention is always for good. That good is ever and ever expanding. We have our being in spirit, and we are one with God. As God is all things in all ways, we and everyone can use God's great power to achieve our desires, which come to us to the degree of our belief. Abundance is mine and yours, and I claim that this good is right here and right now. I know that we are always experiencing financial gain for our highest and best at all times. I give great thanks and let it go, for it is done, and so it is. So I'm going to go back to John Randolph Price affirmation because everything we've heard has complemented that. And that affirmation is, I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of this mind of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. And that is by John Randolph Price. So, my beloved friends and community, I'm thanking you for being present today and hearing this prayer. I give thanks for you being a blessing in the world. And I'm inviting you to join us in raising the roof of your consciousness, raising the roof of the consciousness all around you. And if you are liking what you're receiving during this 40-day prosperity project, I'm inviting you to consider this wonderful partnership with the Purple Heart app as along with Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. And if you'd like to make a contribution to either ministry, we would greatly appreciate it. And in particular with Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire, they're in the process of replacing the roof on their building. Now this building was a wonderful landmark and been a place where it has continued to support people in understanding the truth about themselves, and it has shown up in the Inland Empire as a beneficial presence for people in so many ways. In the inner community, supporting. It is also an interfaith campus that supports other ministries and showing up in the world. And of course, we are a Science of Mind community, and we continue to teach principles and demonstrate principles. And the most important part, we communicate abundance and we support people in demonstrating that, and we communicate unconditional love. This is what empowers us and supports us in our evolutionary growth. So I'm inviting you to choose how you choose to share, but remember those that support you and lift your consciousness. I will see you tomorrow, and I'm inviting you to have a blessed day. Namaste.